Hi gang, Rob here. It is the afternoon of 4 January 2022. Coming to you today on a bright, shiny 35-degree day in Northeast Indiana. It is gorgeous for a winter day. So today I'm coming on to formally unveil the Earlybird membership program for the TheApostleP knife sale that occurs every Thursday night at 9 o'clock Eastern. I'm also going to answer some customer viewer concerns and some complaints in this video that came in the comments section of my announcement video last week. Before I get into that, let's do a pocket dump and a wrist check, shall we? First up, clipped to the top of the left front pocket today, the venerable Benchmade AFO2 with the gray hard anodized aluminum handle, the black 154 cm drop point blade. Oh. Did you catch the thwack? Oh, love that blade, love it. And then in the bottom of the left front pocket, I don't carry this one often enough. From Great Eastern Cutlery, this is a Northfield number 35 harness jack number 10 by Charlie Campagna. Spear main and all secondary. And then on the wrist today, it ain't easy being green unless you're wearing the Seiko SARB 017 Alpinist on the strap code Angus J. Louis bracelet. Yeah. So yeah, that's the kit today. So let's first, before we get into the membership parameters and terms, let's talk about the comments section from last week's video on the Earlybird membership. So first of all, thank you guys, those of you who gave constructive suggestions and critiques, because if you looked at the description of that video, I sort of put in the first draft of the membership arrangement and a couple of you had great ideas about how to make it better, and I used some of them, 2 of them actually. So we'll get into that. But first, before I get into the nuts and bolts of the terms, I got to tell you guys, I was pretty surprised by the level of venom in the comments section of that video. I really was. Just to give you a little history on how the Thursday night knife sale came to be what it is today. First of all, it was something I never wanted to do. When I handed the boss the keys to the car dealership and started sharpening knives for a living, having a YouTube channel, I never wanted to sell anything again. But it became apparent that I guess I'm kind of good at that, even though I was never a natural salesman. And I have a vehicle, a YouTube channel, that lends itself to be able to sell knives. So, you know, over the last 7 years and full-time once a week, every week for the last 5 years, I think, we've had a knife sale on Thursday night. And it kind of evolved into what it is, not by, you know, a great original design by me, but just I found out what worked over time. There are a couple ingredients, 3 I think, that make it work. One is that I work with my consigners to sell knives at prices that are designed to sell knives. You know, I'm not Arizona Custom Knives. I'm not eBay. So the prices are generally lower than those 2 places for pre-owned knives. The second thing is that every Thursday at 9 o'clock, there's kind of an air of anticipation, a sense of urgency. That's a good thing. It's fun. You know, there are nights that, well, last week's a good example. When I looked at my watch at 10 minutes after 9, I was 32 emails behind. Just hold that in your brain for a few minutes, because we're going to circle back to that, a la Jen Psaki. It's a frenzy for the first hour. That helps things move. It just does. And the other thing is, and this is important to remember too, each knife has usually a 2 to 3 minute video segment in 720p HD. Up close, you can see and watch the knife work, and you can see blemishes, and you can see blade centering, and you can hear my description. That's a valuable thing. You don't get to see that even on a good website. You might see 5 pictures. That's not the same thing as watching a knife move in the light and having somebody verify what you're seeing and hearing with narration, and it all works together. And it's a good thing. We have a good time, and it's part of my income. I like it. So that kind of brings us to where we are. And so I did that video last week announcing this new Earlybird membership program. And I'll rehash why. But first, let me say that I was surprised that I got so many comments saying, "I knew it was rigged. Here we are waiting until 9 o'clock on Thursday night. And I always wondered why I sent an email at 9:03 and I'm told I'm second in line, or I'm told the knife is sold." Well, first of all, it's entirely possible if you send an email at 9:03, you're going to be second in line. It just is. And the vast majority of the time that happens, it's because you're second in line. And there's no tomfoolery, no rigged sale. It's just that somebody was in at 9:01 and 57 seconds. So I guess what I found was I unearthed this groundswell of suspicion about the sale that really should have never existed. Let me explain why. First of all, most of the people who made those comments are people who either have never bought a knife from me or have bought 1 or 2 in 7 years. The vast majority of those comments were probably by people who don't like me anyway, and they're just trolling my channel. There were a couple, though, that actually hurt me, that made me really inventory what I've done and said over the last 7 years that have created this perception that, and many of you hold it, that I've never sold a consignment knife before the video aired on Thursday, and I will not. Well, that is a perception that obviously is prevalent, but it's not one that I've ever created. I've never said that. I've never said it in a spoken word on a video. I don't think I've ever written it. I actually have looked at hours of my own video footage over the last few days, which is painful in and of itself, to try to find some point where I said that. I've never said that. And as I said last week, there have over the years been a few, and when I say a few, I mean 3 or 4 or 5 guys who have perceived that they've had enough of a relationship with me that it was okay to send me an email and ask about the knives in this week's sale. And some of them have gotten into a bit of a routine about that. And guys, just so you know, I've always been shocked that more of you haven't inquired, because I've never told you not to. Anybody who's ever emailed me or texted me or messaged me and asked about what's in this week's sale, I've always obliged with that information. So if you're someone who is upset because other people have gotten that information, ask yourself, have I ever asked them? The answer is going to be no. And I'll ask this of you guys. If you can find something I said that prohibited you from contacting me to buy a knife before Thursday at 9 o'clock, please let me know, because I can't find it. I just can't find it. It was never my intention to say anything like that. Now, all that said, it's also not my intention to sell knives onesie-twosie through the week before that knife airs in a sale video. Frankly, going back to those things that make the sale work, the fact that you see that video segment, to me, is a huge value, a huge validation in your purchase. Being sure that you made the right choice is being able to see that video. Nobody that writes me or asking about knives before Thursday at 9 ever gets to see the video segment, ever. They get answers to questions, and maybe I'll snap a few pics with my phone and send them. That's it. So they're not getting the same buyer's experience as the people who tune in at 9 o'clock. I kind of thought that was why more people didn't inquire, because they didn't want to buy a knife till they saw the video. But anyway, there have been a few. And as I said last week, in the last couple months, that number has started to increase. And I've also started to get a higher concentration of people who, in the car business, we used to call strokers. People who want a ton of information and hem and haw and want to send back and forth 7 or 8 emails. And guys, I don't have time for that. I just don't. So because on Thursday, I'm sharpening knives and I'm finishing up production of a video and post-production and all that stuff. That's one of the reasons I did the one night a week at one set time, so I could pack all my selling time into one small block of time. It works out that everybody likes that, and that's great. But I was trying to come up with a way to minimize all this chatter on Thursday before the sale and kind of weed out people who were costing me a lot of time with very little return. I'm working for a living, as I said last week. So to achieve a couple objectives, I didn't want to wreck Thursday at 9. So as the number of people who are inquiring early started to go up, I'm always mindful of all you guys who watch at 9 o'clock. I don't want to wreck that body of knives for the week for you all. So how do I keep the early birds to a minimum without telling people no? How do I preserve 9 o'clock on Thursday, but still let those industrious people who are trying to find an avenue onto the inside, how do I let them still do that? And my answer was to have a membership for early birds. And before I explain the program, let me also say this is a crucial piece of information for all you people who think that half the inventory is sold before 9 o'clock on Thursday, and you're wasting your Thursday night because you're getting hosed out of knives thinking they're for sale. I actually crunched this data. Of all the consignment knives that I get in, they're for Thursday night knife sale. The average over the last 3 years per week, knives that are sold before 9 o'clock on Thursday is 1.8 knives per week. 1.8. And then if you take out the knives that never make it to a video, knives that I sell to like real life personal friends that I see all the time, like my buddy Peter, you hear me mention all the time. I've turned him into an addict. A lot of the knives he buys never make it to a video. So if you take those out, the average number of knives that show up in a sale video that are sold before the sale is less than 1 knife per week. About 0.7 knives per week. So it's not like there's this secret inner circle of people who who have the inside edge on the rest of you. And I never want it to be that way. That's why I'm not doing a weekly Patreon video for $5 a month that you can subscribe to that. And you know, there's a watch channel, Random Rob. I watch Melades from Michigan. He does a weekly watch sale, and he tells you right up front, guys, if you're just watching this on YouTube, these watches are all sold. I never want my sale to be like that. People still watch his sale because they like to see the watches go by the camera, but I'm not going to charge you a monthly fee to buy my knives, and I don't ever want that to become prevalent. I want to keep it down, you know, like around 1 knife per week. So I purposely set my subscription price, my membership price, at a level that's pretty high. And I had a lot of comments saying, man, $25 a month is too high. Well, it's too high on purpose. I don't want that to become the primary avenue for Thursday night knife selling. Okay. I think that's about it. You know what? I did want to mention one thing, because I'm guilty of this too. You know, that perception that I would never sell a knife before 9 o'clock on Thursday not being true. Why does it happen? It happens because, well, maybe there's a general mistrust in society today. We're always sure somebody's trying to hose us. Second, we are headline people. We see a thumbnail for a YouTube video. We see a headline on Google News feed. We have a preconceived notion about that topic. We see a nugget in the headline that might verify our preconception, and we think that's evidence of it without even reading the article or watching the video. Some of that happens. How do I know it happens? Because I send the same confirmation email to everybody who says I'll take it on a knife. It says payment by PayPal, friends or family only. Email me your address, leave the note field blank, and I'll get a PayPal payment with a name and address, what knife it is, and an address. No email with an address, and it's goods or services. So we don't read instructions, and we're headline people with an undercurrent of mistrust. So, and frankly, guys, if you don't trust me and believe what I say, please don't buy knives from me. If you don't like me, please don't buy knives from me. That's my only request. I wish you did, because I think I'm kind of a likable guy and I'm trustworthy. But if you don't believe that, there's all kinds of places you can buy knives from people who might not be as trustworthy as I am. That's another story. So here we go. This is the newest, latest, and greatest terms of Earlybird, the TheApostleP knife sale membership. Number 1, pre-sale inventory lists along with the opportunity to purchase knives ahead of sale time will be available with membership each week. Members will receive an emailed copy of the inventory list at 8 a.m. Eastern Time Thursday morning each week. That was one of the suggestions from you guys, by the way. Standardizing that email blast to all 7 current members, by the way, 7. So each of them get it at the same time. This will be a group email to members so that all early birds are sent the list simultaneously. After and only after the inventory list is sent to members, I will answer members' questions and provide still pictures as requested for knives of interest to them. Standard TheApostleP terms of sale will be in effect for early bird members. Number 2, membership is $25 per month, payable each month on the 1st. No long-term contract is necessary. Membership is month to month. If a customer wants just 1 week's list or infrequent lists, no problem. The cost to get a list for a specific week is a 1-month membership fee of $25 with no obligation to continue. And if you do that the second week of a month, you're going to get, or the first week of the month, you're going to get lists the rest of that month, period. Members may pay in advance for as many months as they desire. No refunds of future months of membership will be made unless the program is discontinued. If the Earlybird membership program is discontinued, all fees for full months paid ahead will be refunded. And I do have one guy that paid 6 months, by the way. Crazy. But he did. Number 3, payments for membership are to be made via PayPal, friends or family only, to rob.bixby65@gmail.com. Number 4, prices for Earlybird purchases are never, all caps, negotiable. I don't accept any reduced price offers until Friday afternoon after sale night. It's not fair to my sellers to reduce prices until all potential buyers have had a chance to purchase. Number 5, each week there will be 1 or 2 knives in the sale video designated as Rob's Picks. And this is another suggestion from the comments on last week's video. Each week there will be 1 or 2 knives in the sale video designated as Rob's Picks, which will not be included on the pre-sale list sent to members. This policy is based on an idea/request from a viewer, and I think a good one, for the purpose of maintaining interest in the phenomenon, which is 9 o'clock on Thursday night. And guys, these aren't going to be dogs. These are going to be the good stuff. You know, all the nights when I say save me from myself, this is one that I'd like to have. It's going to be that stuff. And number 6, the last one. All knives sold prior to the airing of the Thursday night knife sale video will be marked sold, S-O-L-D, all caps, exclamation point, in this description before the sale video goes live. And if there's one thing I've done that has helped draw the ire of the commenters last week, it's that. I have not remotely, religiously marked knives sold before the sale as such before the video airs. I've gotten in the habit of leaving them with a price until about 5 minutes in, and some of you guys know this because you'll send me an "I'll take it" email, and I'll say, "I'm sorry, I sold this one before the sale." Those are infrequent emails because normally those knives don't sell right off the bat anyway, because most of my Earlybirds are kind of esoteric collectors. And remember, there's only less than 1 knife a week selling this way up till now. So, but I'll make sure I have that the sold units marked in the description of the sale video with enough time for it to get through the system, because I've also noticed over time, unrelated to the Earlybird program, sometimes it can be a couple hours before that, when I change the price to sold, that it actually shows up to you guys as being sold. So there's that. So I'll make sure I have that done in ample time so you guys know which knives are sold before the sale video airs. Okay, I think that's about everything for this, because this is getting to be a long video. Those terms that I just read for the Earlybird membership program will be printed in the description underneath this video. I'll also keep them updated in that last week's announcement video for as long as I leave that up. I'm not sure how long that'll be. So I hope that clears up some confusion and some furrowed brows and ill feelings. And I'm sorry for doing whatever I did to help cause some of that confusion, and that last item I think is one. But okay, look forward to this Thursday night. We've got more. We have more from that How About the Truth character. I thought I had them split up 9 and 9, but I only ran 8 last week for some reason, so we got 10 of his this week, and a bunch of other goodies that I haven't really dug into yet. That's for tomorrow's video. Have a great evening, my friends. Grace to you and peace from God our Father and the Lord Jesus Christ. Remember, the word is sharp. Talk to you soon.